Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Sell More Book Show, episode 571. I'm Brian Cohen from Best Page Forward, joined by steamy hockey romance author Kelsie Rae. Kelsie, how are you today?
I am good. I'm good, tired as always, but good. And yeah, how about
Mm-hmm.
you?
I'm really good. Thank you. I mean, you and I both seem cut from the same cloth. We put our heads down, we do the work like you said off the air, and then it's like, oh, we peek our heads back up and it's like here's the world at
Yeah.
large. I mean, you write a lot of books, you have a lot of things for sale on your Shopify store, you have a lot of social media content, 300,000 plus social media followers on TikTok. You do work really hard. I mean, do you feel like this is something you had to learn over time, or this is just like the way you're built?
I think owning any business, but especially the author business, we just make things up as we go and
Yeah.
hope that something sticks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just busy making things up as I go, and the things that work, I continue doing, and the things that don't, I pretend I never dabbled in.
You kind of say that offhandedly, but that is honestly a big author skill to keep doing what works and to be open to ditching the things that don't work.
Yeah, for sure. And to kind of follow your gut, and when it's not working, be willing to let it go. And yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, but it's a skill that you develop over time, and I'm very impressed by how you've developed this skill.
Ah, you're very kind. Again, we're just making it up as we go.
Exactly, exactly. Well, we're going to talk a lot more about stuff today. Um, I'm really glad that you're here, and so we're going to have a lot of fun. So,
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
of course, of course. So, uh, we ask a question of the week. We asked a previous week's question, which was, how do you plan a future release schedule that is going to benefit the future you, while also keeping, I think this means the present you inspired. Ciara Darren said, I rapid release my series one after the other, so I write the entire series ahead of time. That way I keep it fresh, keep myself motivated. My readership is on Ream. I don't have a lot of subscribers, but just having those people who are paying me to read it as early as possible is awesome motivation. And Christy Park said, I'm still thinking about the answer to this question. I get so excited at first and then start petering out and want to start something new. Honestly, I mean, Kelsie, this is like two sides of the spectrum, right? We've got the writing a bunch of books ahead of time, banking them and releasing them. And then we have, well, I kind of try at something, see if it works. If I'm motivated, I'll keep doing it. Like, where do you find yourself as far as your release schedule?
I'm probably right in between the two.
Yeah.
Now that I do sell direct, and I do worry
Hmm.
about having physical copies on hand, and I do order from China, and so that takes
Yeah.
a lot longer. I also have learned that having my audiobooks released at the same time that I release the ebook and the physical copy, that has helped grow my audio listeners group. And
Yeah.
so I definitely have to write further ahead than I would like, if I'm being completely honest. I was kind of joking with my husband today. I'm like, I finally get why traditional publishers were like, okay, your release date is a year from now. Because when
Right.
I was only releasing the ebook version, I could, write a book and 3 months later it would be live. So I think that there's a happy medium there. And it really just depends on how comfortable you are with how chaotic your little ducks are. Are they in a row, or are you good just, trying to just juggle them like cats?
Yeah, having 10 ducks in every corner of the pond.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people
Yeah.
are totally comfortable with that, and some people need to have everything laid out perfectly, and I'm probably an in-betweener, so
Yeah, yeah. Well, I love that answer. And y'all, you can always answer the question of the week. Sell More Book Show After Party Facebook group or at sellmorebookshow.com. Kelsie, I wanted to ask you two questions here that aren't listed because they just came up as you were talking. Um, was it scary the first time you decided to get a pallet or multiple pallets of books from overseas?
oh, yeah. When I first started, I was like, "Okay, 100 books. I can get rid of 100 books. Like, it's gonna be hard, I can do it. And now I'm ordering 10,000 of a
Whew,
single book,
whew.
and it's a lot of money, and I kind of have a heart attack every single time. And my husband, he's the one who kind of, handles our warehouse. He's the person who is like, "You need to order more than that. You need to order more." So he'll be like, "Okay, you need to order 2,000 of this book." I'm like, "So, like, 1,500?" He goes, "No, 2,000. Like, just do it." So, no, I don't think that ever goes away. It's really scary. Uh, but when you are out of books and you have, 6 weeks before you're getting more, you kinda learn to be braver, slowly but surely.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely, and it's awesome that you have someone in your house who can kind of help guide you and help you when these big purchasing decisions need to happen.
Yes, because if it were me, I'd be like, "No, no, I'll just do a baby amount. It's fine."
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I love that. Well, awesome. That is very helpful. I'm going to save the other question for later. I've decided. So, um, let's get into the top story, which I know we're both like ooh about a little bit, but are you ready?
I'm as ready as they can be.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Okay. Top story is audio AI. 11 Labs has, which is how it's written, by the way. 11 Labs has launched their new self publishing suite, 11 Reader Publishing, which is designed to help authors self publish their audiobooks faster and easier than ever before, reports Publishers Weekly's Ed Nowatka. 11 Reader Publishing lets you upload your books as EPUB, DocX, or PDF files, which are then quickly converted to AI generated audiobooks with authors choosing the voice of the narrator. 11 Reader audiobooks are then available for readers to listen to, currently for free, in the 11 Reader app. During the program's beta phase, the company will pay US based authors working in English $1.10 when listeners engage with their audiobook for more than 11 minutes. They're really into the 11 thing, aren't they? It's free now, but 11 Labs plans to introduce subscription models for listeners, as well as a marketplace where authors and publishers could sell audio content. In addition, authors who use Findaway Voices can already publish their audio to Spotify. Quote, for authors looking for a cost-effective way to create high-quality audiobooks, 11 Labs is a great option, says Findaway Voices. Their digital voices are top quality, the platform is easy to use, and authors can narrate their audiobooks in 29 languages with complete control over voice and intonation, end quote. Author Joe Nassis already has 13 English language books available through the program, with 3 Spanish language titles launching soon. Quote, 11 Reader transforms my written works into lifelike audio. It lets me make audio stories available and gives listeners a truly unique experience, end quote. To hear the audio and learn more about how to create your own AI audiobook, check out the links in our show notes. Thanks to Joe Nassis for the tip. So, love the look on your face here, Kelsie. So obviously talking about anything AI always makes us nervous because of the cancel culture out there. So, what thoughts went through your head with this? I mean, obviously, some people are always going to try to stay away from it. Some people are going to embrace any new technological thing that comes about for a new way to reach readers. Like, what did you think hearing about kind of this new platform?
Yeah, so, I think one is, it depends on where your business is at, as well
Right,
as what kind of readers you want to attract, or, how you want to help your current readership, right?
right.
So personally, I wouldn't use AI. My business is in a position that I am able to afford paying artists. My
Yeah.
business was not always in that position. And so that's where, it's a little bit sticky for me to be like, what would I do if I was just starting out? I also know that my readers prefer human voices. They have talked to me on, like, even strangers will email me before they purchase my audiobooks asking if it is an AI generated or if I
Hmm.
hired a human. And so I know what my readership prefers, and that's why I am willing to invest a little bit more. That being said, AI is a very gray area, and
Yeah.
I think it is a great tool. And I think we really need to consider every creator's business decision with an empathetic lens, because we do want everyone to thrive and to create and to get their work in front of as many people as possible. Um, And so no one knows our business better than ourselves. No one knows our readers as well as our financial situation as we do. So I think it's a very personal choice. Um, and you kind of have to ask yourself what's best for you and your business and your readers. So I told you I'm not a great person to ask for this because
No, no.
I think it is a great area.
No, it absolutely is. It is a gray area. I think that I know authors who make no money, who are saving up, or they're using a Kickstarter to try to get a human narrator. I know authors who make multi six figures who use AI. And so it's like I think people all across the board are have different perspectives on this, and I'm glad that you shared your perspective. I'm going to ask you a different question based on kind of where you're thinking. You can still ask me the same question, but my question is: at what point in your business did you know I'm going to use my money to focus on getting artists and paying artists for my audiobooks?
So, I mean, AI wasn't an option in the beginning anyway,
Right,
right?
right.
Which is definitely something to consider. I started publishing in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for me, and I've done this in every aspect of my business, I'm a big try it and see. So I didn't go and invest my entire first series, which is 9 books. I tried one book.
Mm-hmm.
And I am very meticulous with numbers. I love my numbers. And so I just kind of I went and saw how long it took me to pay that off.
Yeah,
I also think that there are a lot of amazing narrators. You don't have to hire the big names. You can
right.
hire a nobody that can still produce an amazing book. Um, and that was my experience. I think I spent, which is still a lot of money, I think I spent like $400 on my audiobook, which
Mm-hmm.
it took a while to pay off, but that was doable for me. Now I spend a
Yeah,
lot more on my audiobooks, and that I couldn't have afforded at, when I was first starting out. So I think it just depends on testing it. Test it and see. And that's where I was going to say, and this is a personal preference, but if you want to test out an audiobook with AI and you're like, "Ooh, this is a hit. People love this story. I am now getting in front of a lot of people. Let's bring in an amazing cast and let's redo this and really hit the people who, kind of a little bit more of that mainstream audience that are prefer human voices." You know what I mean?
yeah. I absolutely. I mean, like I used to be an actor. I have recorded a voiceover demo in my life. I mean, I definitely am all about paying artists, and I think that's a great idea. If you are like, I need audio, I have no money. Maybe it's a we do version one, we do version two. I think is an idea that
Yeah.
definitely people could consider. Great answer in a gray area topic. Um,
Thank you.
you have a question here for me.
I do. How long do you think it is before traditional audiobook marketplaces open up to AI narrators?
I would be very surprised if it has not been discussed dozens of times already in the big five buildings because so much of the traditional publishing world is about really focusing on every single business aspect of this of their company and of each title, and that may mean thinking about how can we use AI in one area or another. I know because I've seen it around that AI is already being used in multiple ways in all of the big five buildings, and so that it can't be long before they at least test it in a significant way. I'm guessing they've probably already tested it with some of their imprints that people don't even know are imprints.
Hmm.
And they are seeing that data, they're collecting that data, and they are going to come back and figure out, well, this is the amount of money we make this way, this is the amount of money we make this way. Which way is more money? And they're going to decide on the way that makes more money.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that.
And we'll see how long that takes. But
Yeah.
um awesome. We'll wipe our hands of that one. We'll move into the lightning round, which, as you know, is the time where we get our guests to make a silly lightning sound. So the time is now, Kelsie. You have the floor.
Okay, well, we're going lightning, not thunder. So,
Yeah.
zing.
Ooh, that's good. That might have been like the most adorable lightning sound anyone's ever done. So, good work there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, Kelsie, we don't know what's going to happen with TikTok in the next 60 days, let alone the next 6 months or years. Is it too late for new authors to find success on TikTok?
Not at all.
Okay.
I strongly believe that there's plenty of room on TikTok to make a splash. Um, Bluntly put, I think that's the beauty of TikTok. Anybody can go viral.
Mm,
I've posted the same video on multiple platforms, and it's crazy how different audiences can react to it on different platforms. And you don't need that follower. You don't need the numbers with followers or anything like that. It can be, your first video that just hits the right people and goes. So definitely not too late.
love that. Love that. Very optimistic too. So
Yeah,
this is good. This is good. I'll go with the pessimistic counterpoint on this one. You can
love
ask me the second question.
it. Oh, you want me to ask?
Go for it.
What what is the first thing you'll do if the 3-month reprieve of TikTok goes away?
So this is if TikTok goes away, if it's gone, first thing I am going to do, and I'm already doing this to a certain extent, I am trying to put more emphasis into Instagram, into Facebook. I've been doing YouTube Shorts. I even have, because I'm nonfiction, some of my content goes to LinkedIn. I will admit, I probably see the most views from TikTok right now, but it doesn't mean I can't have an optimized bio and profile on Instagram, my Facebook page, on YouTube, all of these places. I can make it so that if people do find me from those places, they at least know where to go. And so I think the first thing I would do if I were someone else is figure out, well, where am I going to focus? And how can I make sure that if people find me there, they go to the right place?
Yeah. I think diversifying, especially seeing that TikTok can go away,
Yeah.
being everywhere, and it's really hard because we only have so much bandwidth, but at least having something on a
Yeah.
lot of at least Instagram, YouTube Shorts, Facebook, and I do believe TikTok, be having a presence on all of those places, I think is very important because we've experienced when one goes away. I actually have an author friend who um, she is only on TikTok,
Mm,
and she yeah, it's been very scary for her, and she's trying to build up on these other platforms, but hasn't seen the traction there, and she gets super discouraged. So yes, definitely diversify from the beginning. At least to a point you can focus on certain things, but you want to be in as many places as possible in case something goes away.
yeah, absolutely. Very well said. So, you are a person who buys thousands of books at a time, ships them to your house. You have a warehouse. So, obviously, you know stores pretty well. But what is the most common mistake authors make when they are starting their own online stores?
um, Yeah, this is a tough question.
Yeah.
As far as the actual online store goes, don't look for perfection and don't
Mm,
let yourself get too overwhelmed. You do have to start
mm,
somewhere. I am constantly making tweaks on my shop, constantly.
yeah.
Whether it's testing a new image or testing the color of the buy button. Like you're never going to have anything perfect. You have to test. So
Mm,
that's probably when it comes to like the online side of things. Yes, that's what I would say. And then when it comes to, the physical side of things, if you are selling physical copies on an online store, um, take baby bites at first. Uh, Definitely, like even our warehouse right now, and we were running out of or out of our basement for close to a year before I
yeah.
finally was like, okay, we're gonna sign a lease
I
and
need
we'll
my
start.
basement back.
Yeah, and even then I was like, "Okay, 1 year. I can't risk 2, 3, 4." You know what I mean? And I don't know, you have to be used to pivoting in this business, which is a
Yeah.
little scary, but believe in yourself. take baby steps and really just fill things out. And when things stop working, that doesn't mean that the sky is falling. You just have to kind of pivot a little bit, and yeah, you'll do great. If you order the wrong book, or someone, another friend of mine on her spine, she there was a typo, and it's like, no, these aren't wasted. Just put them at a discount. You'll be fine,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll figure it out. So, biggest mistake is people getting too overwhelmed that they're unwilling to try. And I mean, there's so much money to be made when it comes to direct sales in an online store as well as physical copies. It is worth it. Don't get overwhelmed, and just take baby steps.
I love that. I love that. Can you just like follow everyone around and tell them good things? Because I feel like the world would benefit from this. So, um, you've got a question for me in
I
here.
do. What can authors running online stores learn from the nonfiction and entrepreneurial world?
It's very interesting. I feel like authors, even romance authors who are very forward thinking as far as authors go, are years behind, always years behind the entrepreneurial world, the people selling courses for entrepreneurs and that sort of thing. There are very complicated funnels. There are lots of tools and tricks out there. There are things that they have set up that I'm just amazed. Like I will see a book. So I'm advertised a book. And then that book leads to a $30 course, which leads to a $90 course, which leads to a membership program, which leads to them getting me on the phone and trying to sell me some big thing. And they send me auto texts and WhatsApps and all these things. And I look at all of this. Sometimes I go through these funnels. I will buy up to $100 just to see what they do to me. And it's so cool, some of the stuff they do, some of the automations, some of the follow-up sequences, both email and text, the sales tactics they use. So very interesting. And it leads me to believe that when us authors, especially fiction authors, start integrating more of those kinds of tools, it is going to be one of those things that takes, look, I know some of the most successful Shopify authors, or at least who talk about it, they still only make a certain percentage of profit. It's not like more than 30% for many, many, many authors. And so those might be the tools that we start integrating that allow us to have more profitability. And so look towards these somewhat spammy nonfiction people because honestly, they're doing some pretty high level stuff.
Yeah, I think, yeah, that's a really good point.
Thank you.
Mm. And then
Thank
I
you.
get overwhelmed, and I'm like, okay, wait, should
I
I
know.
focus?
Well, yeah, well, babe, a really, really smart author who I spoke with recently just said baby bites and baby steps.
Yes.
So,
There you go.
um, awesome. So, last question here from me to you, Kelsie, is what's one marketing method non-romance authors should consider stealing from romance authors?
That's a good question. I don't know about nonfiction, okay,
Maybe
but
not nonfiction, just non-romance.
all right,
Any
if
other
we're going
fiction,
general
any
fiction,
other genre fiction. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, for sure. I think it's to try and tell a story. You're not trying to sell a book. You're not saying, "Oh, I like this book, you should read it." Try and invite them into your world. For me, a really helpful thing is I like to stick the viewers from a video or into the situation. So instead of
Mm.
being like, I had an example. Let me think. Okay. Someone was like, "You should read my book. It's really good." But instead, it's okay. If your brother's best friend saw someone slip something into your drink at a party, what would he do? And it's like, well, I don't
Mm,
know. What would he do? What's this guy doing? And it just immediately brings you into that story where they want to figure out what, if the roles reverse, what would happen. So that's kind of my biggest thing is you're not trying to sell a story. You're just bringing them into your story.
I love that. And obviously we've all seen and you've done many viral TikTok posts that are to that effect.
Mhm.
And so we know it's not just a theory, all. She's done it.
It
That's
does
why
work, I promise.
it's why she has 300,000 plus TikTok followers. So awesome. Thank you for that advice. That's really helpful.
Of course.
All right. Moment of truth. We're to that question of the week. I know. So, Kelsie, is there even a subject or an idea or something that we covered that you would be interested in asking a question about, even if it's just the general idea of it? I can mold it, I can shape it.
Yeah, I think it would be, what was the last ad that sold you and why? Like, go in and kinda
Ooh.
analyze the why behind it.
And why? I love that question so much. What was the last ad that sold you and why? Folks, you can answer Kelsie's wonderful question over at Sell More Book Show After Party or the sellmorebookshow.com website. Everyone who wants to see a Shopify store done well or who wants to buy some steamy hockey romance should go to shopauthorkelsierae.com and go check out her stuff, because I love modeling the behavior of people who are doing a good job, and you're
Me
doing
too.
a really great job. I know. Hey, and it works because then you model wonderful people, then people model you, and it all shapes up.
Yeah, we all lift each other up. Let's all make
Yeah,
money.
I love it. I love it. Well, this has been so much fun, Kelsie. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Yay, good. We'll have you back next week in the magic of podcasting. And so definitely go check out Kelsie's stuff. In the meantime, I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their book selling week. We will be back here next week for episode 572. So until then, have a lot of fun and remember, baby steps out there. Take good care, everybody. Bye.